Thanks, Lath. Excuse me, I didn't hear, because I was running up, I didn't hear what Jack said, but I take it what you're saying is that the CSO, for public health reasons, they feel they can't go ahead with the census. And that is perfectly understandable under the current circumstances. But I do think what maybe the government could use the interregnum period to do is to put in place or to prepare for a census that will take place maybe a year later, but to ensure that we actually use the information that the census provides us with, because the census is an enormous wealth of information, which I think is underutilised a lot of the time. It provides us with enormous detail about the changes that are happening in our society and the changing needs of our society. And if we actually use that information, properly, we can plan. And I don't think there's often a sort of joined up thinking in terms of the information that is provided, because it tells us about, birth rates, it tells us about, it should tell us about, for example, the infrastructure we need for childcare, the infrastructure we need for education, the infrastructure we need for housing, and allow us to plan for those things. If we were using that information properly and linking it to our policy objectives and our plans. And I think that does not happen. Most obviously, if you take back the 2016 census, one of the things it told us is there were a lot more people living in households, which should have told us that we had a housing problem and that we needed to deal with it if we didn't know that already. And then planning for that. Planning for things like childcare needs and infrastructure, which we're desperately short of. And I don't think we have used the information that the census provides us to properly plan for the needs of our society, particularly in areas like housing, the provision of decent school infrastructure, and the provision of childcare infrastructure. So that would be my point.
Thank you, Deputy Padder Tobin.